Yeah, maybe it's something you catch your opponent by surprise because you're never going against it, and you're like, "What the hell's that thing?" And then it pops, and suddenly you take all
Yeah,
this
you
extra
get killed
damage.
alt-tabbing, looking at the Dota wiki to read what the hell it is. You
Like,
know?
I can't kill this
Understandable.
guy. Why is he taking no damage? And oh, it's this
The
weird
next level
shield thing.
strength.
All right, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's an early Underlord pickup here. This is a bruiser of a team, a bit of team fight here. Got great wave clear now. It's coming out of your ears at this point between these three.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm a little surprised we don't see more Underlord because just Pit of Malice, it feels like, especially in combination with Coil, like all these melee position 1s or in some cases position 2s that we've been seeing this patch get completely dumpstered by this hero. So I'm a little surprised we don't see more of them.
it's hard to pick Underlord until you see what support you're playing against. He's already against Ogre Magi and Shadow Shaman, but like if there's a Witch Doctor, you normally want to play pretty far forward. You just get blown up by the Cask and the Maledict. So at this point, it becomes pretty safe to play. It's not really Gremlo's style. He normally likes split pushing and avoiding the enemies, and you definitely have to stand in front to be the tanky boy on the Underlord. So
Looks like the Underlord has been going to the same dentist though as Gremlo, so perhaps that's kind of a special connection that they have, and he just forced the pick upon whoever the. Do we even know who the captain of Arkosh is? Is Pale Horse the captain?
I think Pale Horse does the drafting. I'm not sure about captain.
Okay.
None of them really speak the same language, apparently.
God, I hope it's not Gremlo because it's hard enough to hear him in the interviews. So if his team has to put up with them in the comms nonstop,
Yeah. No wonder
don't
he's
even
locked
know.
up with a voice like that. Jesus. Good Lord. Good riddance.
All right, they creep in the Oracle, which we don't get to see a lot of. A fantastic defensive support, but also good when you're going against some of these like melee cores, which all they want to do is get in there and start bringing the business. But when your hands are tied by something like Fate's Edict, that one simple spell could just keep you out of a fight altogether.
This is the
wow, we're seeing a lot of new faces now.
This draft is a lot better than the last one. Last time they didn't have a ton of damage, they didn't have a ton of catch, they didn't have anybody who could hit towers, and they struggled with frontliners. I mean, they made it all work regardless. Suns fan, goddamn Aghanim Scepter on Troll Warlord made them be able to do anything, but now they've got the Wraith King that can sit in front. You're not worried about snapping the Dream Coil and going down because you get back up afterwards. They can shove towers in with the Death Prophet. This lineup is way more coherent. If they could win last game, they can easily win with the lineup they have drafted so far.
Indeed, and I'm looking at the Arkosh side with Oracle. Like in terms of like this team fight position 1, they don't really have anything that combos with it yet. So question is, what do they want to combo with it? Terrorblade would have been pretty good, but that is banned out. I mean, not to bring up Troll again, but it is available. Not particularly great this game. You take off Bloodlust.
The Morphling is there, and you have Morph Earthshaker.
Ooh.
Ricky's there too.
I mean, what do you think about Ricky? I guess Ricky comboed with the first skill from Oracle could be pretty cool once you're in Viz. But in terms of like a false promise hero, not exactly the first hero I think of.
I mean, you can't get touched on the hero. A lot of people go cooldown reduction. I've seen Arcane Blink picked up a number of times on it. You don't need... You get your Battle Fury, you get your Aghanim Scepter, and that's really all you need to just destroy teams. As long as Underlord can sit in front, you can hop in his pocket, you can pump out tons of damage. You don't really need to be a frontliner saved. You're just getting either the Hex or the Shackles off of you with the Oracle ult. I think that's it. Then last banned out the Mars, so they're just worried about offlane as it can potentially stop their push. Oh.
Yeah, almost certainly an offlane here. I mean, I have heard, I haven't actually seen it myself. A couple pros are telling me that people are experimenting with position 3 Wraith King. It sounds awful, so I'm just going to assume that they're trolling me. I mean, we've seen Death Prophet off. We've seen Death Prophet support not too long ago, so could technically be anything, but probably the position 3. They do need some catch, some initiation.
Not sure what that is. I mean, you normally want to run the Death Prophet against a melee hero, so you could run it in the position 3 because you're not crazy about running against Puck. You can just throw out the Crypt Form them to creep waves and deal with things that way. But that is something they could flex. But we saw it offlane last time.
Yeah, not a great Pango game. I mean, against Coil, against even the Root from Underlord, pretty annoying. Would not have picked. I mean, I don't know what else is in the pool right now, but this is not an easy Pango game, I don't think.
No, it's confusing to me. I think
Fissure as well, pretty annoying.
Yeah, maybe there's still some flex there for them, but I'm with you guys. I feel like it's going to be a little difficult here for the Pango, especially when they have so much on the side of Arkosh to dump in there. But what is there going to be their one now that they're looking to enable? I know Ricky was drop morph, but of course, how can we forget the new flavor of the month? Alchemist.
Okay. Yeah, I like this pick a
Alchemist.
lot.
Flavor of the month.
That is.
Is it?
Well, we've been seeing Alchemist pop up a couple of times, at least this week and last week.
Mhm.
Tomato played it for Undying. I know. Who else popped it up? I think Gunner played it. I'm not too sure, but we've definitely seen it a couple of times now.
God, this is such a trash Pango game, and even Oracle is like literally every hero is good against Pango. Or yeah, Pango right now.
You're not pulling your punches on that one.
Yeah, this is such a bad Pango game. Anyway, I like Arkosh Gaming's lineup a lot, but I have to stay true to my predictions, which will never change. I will always pick Arkosh to lose, so Byzantine will take this 2-0 somehow. Pango will just play position 5 or something.
Enough.
For me, I gotta say, if they could win last game with their lineup, Arkosh is doing something wrong. Byzantine Raiders, they've got this one. I somewhat agree with Zunfan saying it's not really a Pango game, but the Alchemist doesn't strike me as particularly strong, and they do have ways to bring him down. You're going to have to pop off on the Wraith King to do it, though. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to bring down Alchemist. You need burst damage for that hero, and they don't have it without Wraith King. They need him to do well.
All right, we'll see if we can get the win here from Raiders to close out the series, or if Arkosh are going to take it to a game 3. We throw to a break. When we return, though, MLP, johnxfire, and Sammyboy are on the mic.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for game number 2 between Arkosh Gaming and the Byzantine Raiders. It is, of course, MLP, Dota, johnxfire, and Sammyboy, and we are back with 2 new drafts, and just judging by what you guys were saying just before the break, you're not really a big fan of the Byzantine Raiders draft, from what I could tell.
Yeah, it's the Pango pick, right, Sammy? Like the Pango last pick, Suns fan was raging about it, or not raging, but kind of ranting about it. It just doesn't look good here.
No, it doesn't. It's not a great laner. They have Puck, Underlord, Earthshaker. I mean, everything. Yeah, like they said on the panel, every hero on the team is already good versus Pangolier, and then they last pick Alchemist, who is also good versus Pangolier. So it's Pangolier into 5 heroes that you probably don't really want to play against to begin with. We do see a level 1 smoke. Well, now from Byzantine, though.
Interesting
Looks
stuff.
like they just kind of want to run down. I think one thing as well that we've got to mention here, when you've got the Alk against Wraith King, the 2 lives of the skeleton procs Grievous Greed. So there's a lot of value in clearing out those summons now from Murderer, if you're not careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I'm playing Alchemist, you see a Wraith King, TP to the lane, the Wraith King dropped his skeletons and collect 500 gold, generally.
Delicious.
Standard Arkosh play. Just drafting these cheap heroes like the Alchemist. That I find this Alchemist pick very unfair. I think it's a disgusting hero. I could have guessed that Arkosh would have done this.
They do spot out the. Oh, they deny the ward.
Denying their ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know. They know. Just taking away. Saves them the effort of buying out the sentry. Frugosh just being safe. But level 1 smoke doesn't lead to much. Now, seeing that Byzantine Raiders wants to play, they were looking for Fresh Blood, they're kind of rushing around. Who has to go faster here? Is it down to that Wraith King, as Neff was saying? Like, the burst has got to come out and that early start has to get going?
I think it's up to the DP. If this DP is able to use his ults effectively to probably take the top tier 1 and mid tier 1 before maybe 10-12 minutes, I think the game will be pretty easy for Byzantine to play. But if this Death Prophet doesn't have a good start, it's going to be really difficult for them to play Dota. It's very hard for their heroes to invade the Alchemist, especially with the tier 1s up.
Yeah, well, it's the DP versus Puck. Not something you see too often nowadays. Not a matchup that's, too common at all. And, A and B has to get off to that running start. How does the Puck match up against this one? Like, surely both sides just go back to that farming that we saw from game 1?
Yeah, it's a very 50-50 matchup. DP has got some laning buffs recently, but Puck has also got buffs as well. So it's like, I would say very 50-50, maybe slightly DP favored, 55-45, something like that. So generally just a skill matchup. The courier snipe coming out from Crow in the bot lane.
Very nice indeed. A nice little pull here from Crow as well. Lightshader doesn't have a large camp to be able to pull the creep wave into, so Crow does just block it again at the 1 minute mark. So very nice from Crow. Looks like he is going to just reset the lane equilibrium towards the side of Arkosh, which we did see in the first game. Of course, Gremlo should be slowly making his way back up. Unless they just give the solo XP over to Crow, but I do believe it is going to go to the Underlord.
Yeah, most likely.
Light
Really
Shader.
tanky lane as well, right? Like you've got Earthshaker's fairly tanky, Gremlo's tanky as well. Light Shader can stand in front like that, but you don't really want to tempt fate as the levels go up here.
Yeah, it's another one of those lanes where everyone is just super tanky, super hard to kill. Probably not going to see too much action down here. Maybe if Crow oversteps or something like that, but should just be a farming lane for both sides.
In terms of the top lane, like you look at Pale Horse right now, he's sitting at 5-0 on the Alchemist, and with Goat around, I can't really see them killing him or really slowing him down too much on the Alch. Is there some particular rotation we're expecting here to kill the Alchemist off, or is Pale Horse just going to have the freest game of his life?
I think Pale Horse is going to have a pretty free game, at least until this mid tower dies. Like I said, I'd like to see both the subs on the side of Byzantine Raiders gravitate towards that mid lane. So as soon as Murderer is able to either solo go jungle, or Cube on the other side of things can kind of play alone up there, I want to see the Shaman and the Ogre probably take some sort of coordinated smoke to mid, maybe play with this DP EXO at 6, take the mid tower, and then from there you can kind of start snowballing into letting your supports and Death Prophet kind of invade and pressure the Alch.
But well, Arkosh has been doing a good job so far zoning out those supports. Like Frugos has been eating through salves and tangos like no one's business. Goat has just been able to trade fairly well. And speaking of regen, Goat still has 2 salves, still has a tango. Even Cube is down to just his mangoes as well. So when it comes down to that resource war early on in the lanes, it's not shaping up too well here for Byzantine Raiders either. They're just not really able to trade in any meaningful way in the early economy here.
Yep. I think this is just a result of, not to blame more on the Pango pick, but definitely a very weak laner. It's difficult for them to trade, difficult for them to take positive trades at least. See down bottom though, they make a go on Gremlo. They missed the fissure on the Murderer.
They did. Fire Blast going to be there. Murderer has a lot of damage, and Gremlo is set to die, and he will. Murderer, the one to take the first blood. And of course, if you are the position 1 Wraith King, you are very, very happy with that bonus gold.
Oh, definitely. It's the exact lane we didn't expect any kills to come out as well. Very tanky lane, 1 misstep though, easy to punish, and that actually opens up some movement out for Arkosh. They're keeping an eye on those mid runes. Both supports making their way down. Only Frugos to contest so far up top.
Yep. I think they didn't give enough respect to the creep wave bottom. He was obviously using Firestorm to try to clear the creep wave, but...
Oh, Goat.
Oh.
He's gone. No way out of that
Not
one.
a salve.
Oh.
Well, he's got
Not
another
a salve
one.
for that. It's 1 salve. It's a nice chunk of gold for the Oracle still. You know, he looked pretty dead uphill. I think that was optimistic of the salve to solve.
Yeah,
You know,
it definitely
like-
was.
15.
He's got so many, he doesn't need them.
I suppose so. Still 2-0 so far for Byzantine Raiders here. I mean, it's a good start. Like, the supports are finally getting that work in. Pale Horse is still finding some decent farm. Once our DP hits 6, you reckon this is straight up Exorcism pickup? Unlike other games we see going into those laning skills first, saving Exo for
lane.
level 7,
Go
level
on the
8.
bottom. Light Shader might be in some trouble here.
He was overextending a little bit. Looks like he is going to be just fine to back out of there. Murderer just went straight back to farming.
I'll expect the DP EXO at 6. I think it's too important for them to play a high tempo this game. Maybe he will decide to delay it, but if it was me, I'd probably skill EXO and hope to try to make something happen.
And, well, you've got an Alchemist, you get 3 bounty runes as well. You're going to be a very happy team here for Arkosh.
You are.
Absolutely. Murderer's in
All
some
lane.
trouble, just locked down.
Very nice kill there by Crow and Gremlo. The Fisher blocking the pathing there for Murderer. Mid lane, looks like they are going to try and maybe make a little bit of a play onto Canis Vulpus. The rotation in from Frugos was just a tad late, but he's still trying to loop around. Might be able to get that level 2 shackles off, but he has been spotted by the creep wave. Canis
Frugos
doesn't
is
have
in
an
a-
orb.
Oh.
The wave now, and Exorcism going to be popped
That
straight off the bat.
Radiant structures are fortified.
3
Frugos?
heroes mid.
Yeah, Frugos, I'm not sure about this. He was still sticking around. He does get locked up. And he's gone. Crow to pick up the kill, and well, now the Exorcism just isn't going to lead to anything.
Yep, I like the idea from Byzantine Raiders, but just not enough heroes, right? If this Ogre was also connecting on the mid lane at the same time, I think this could be a different story, where they could man up on the creep wave, the Ogre could tank, and they could actually apply real pressure to this tower. But, you know, the idea was there, just not the right amount of heroes, unfortunately.
And with that movement out from Frogos, of course, they've given Pale Horse the space up top. He's still finding farm. The Alchemist really not contested at all, and he's got his own level 6 up. So that steady farm build-up is going to be there for the Alch. What build-up do you expect here? Like, are we seeing a Radiance Rush? Is it going to be the Battle Fury for Pale Horse? What's preferable?
I think the Battle Fury is probably the best this game. The Radiance is not too great in this type of game because there's not really any AoE stuff he really wants to clear that Battle Fury wouldn't already clear, such as the Skeletons, right? And to be honest with you, I think they want to try to play the fights kind of short. They don't really want to fight into a 40-second exo. They want to be able to apply burst damage and then ideally disengage, run away, kite back, stuff like that. So I'd really like to see probably a Battle Fury into something like S and Y, and then go from there, and you can build burst damage if you want Abyssal into whatever else you want, AC most likely. So.
Yeah, it looks like Pale Horse is making his way towards that build-up, as you mentioned. Byzantine Raiders tied up 2-2 now. First Exo not working out too well. Murderer has his own level 6. Still playing tag with Gremlo. We're not seeing the cores swap out lanes beyond our Alch going into the jungle. So actually not as much pressure on the towers as you'd expect. You reckon Byzantine would really want to find these early pickups, though?
Yeah, they do. It's kind of waiting for the Exo. They need Exorcism to apply real pressure.
Goat.
Goat, he's going to be all right. Canis Vulpus does come in with a great dream call, and they get Cubey. Mid lane, they are grouping up, but I don't know about this. You just lost your Pangolier, and Gremlo should be able to just defend on his own.
Yep, good TP in from Gremlo, good recognition of what's happening. So, like that stuff from him.
It's kind of painful here for Byzantine that Frugos is stuck at level 3. Right? You want the wards with the Exorcism for this push, but they're not really able to get that EXP going. Frugos has just been way too active on the map. They are committing 4 heroes mid, though.
They are. Fisher going to block out the DP. The Exorcism is going to be held on to for now, but the rotation from Lightshader and Frugos
behind the tower, looking for Crow.
He is trying, but now he's going to be surrounded again. Crow doesn't have a Fisher to lock him in, though, so he's going to be all right for now. And Alien Man of Banana just going to rush in.
Really deep.
Exorcism is there as well, and they do burst down Goat. It's a Crow now. They want the Earthshaker dead. They'll find another. 2 kills going to the way of the DP as Cubey is going to keep moving forward after Canis Vulpus, but he does have an orb available if he needs to get away. Still, the Sands now coming out. He may have held out too long. He is going to try and orb now. Lightshader actually going to die midway. Canis Vulpus playing with fire, but it might just pay off as he is going to walk away from the swashbuckle of Cubey.
Oh,
good
man.
news.
You'd still call that a successful defense for Arkosh, right? Another Exorcism with no push. Just not the best for Byzantine right now.
Murderer, oh, nice deny by Crow in the bottom lane. Murderer is able to take down this bottom tier 1. So not, you didn't get nothing out of it, but definitely not what you had hoped for. I think these mid plays need to just be a little more coordinated, a little more preparation into them, and they could succeed. Like I said, I really like the idea. I like the tempo they're going for, but the execution is just leaving something to be desired. Frugos is now taking the top lane, which is good. This guy is going to be trying to work on his level 6, and probably ideally look to take this top tier 1 with level 6 Shaman wards.
Going to be a big spike for Frugos once that's up. Of course, that lack of pressure up top has enabled Pale Horse to get his 2 swords up, just lacking the perseverance into that Battle Fury for the Alch, so he's going to hit his farming stride soon. Murderer is going for the Radiance Rush, right? Like, he just wants to have that presence with his 2 lives although up top.
They have gone onto the Shaman. Canis Vulpus trying to get it done by himself. Goat's going to rotate in. He might actually cap Frogos off guard, but no. Canis, does he want to throw a blind orb out? He might turn. Looks like he is just going to sit back and relax for now, but he is starting to move his way back up. Canis still pretty healthy, but if they can get the shackles off, they'll go for the Hex first. And they do get the shackles, but they lock in Cubey for a second. Canis, he will phase shift, but still gets hit by the sun and is going to die into the Oracle now. Is
Good bounce from Cubey.
It definitely was Cubey in massive trouble, or rather, Goat is.
Gremlo might get chased down as well, too.
Yeah, Gremlo.
1 by 1?
Gonna run away, but he's in trouble.
Alien Man of Banana decides to dive this. It looks like he might. Oh, smartly decided to back off. Good recognition.
Dire's top tower is
They should still get the tier 1 tower out of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they're still running for a bit, that EXO, but they did pop the EXO with Arcane, so the cooldown's not going to be that long for Alien Mana Banana compared to the other fights, although, rooted up.
Fisher, nice Fisher there. Pit and Malice locking him in once again with the Fortune's End. Alien still trying to run, but no, Crow is there. With the slam to make sure he gets put away. Gremlo the one to pick up the kill, and they might go for a bit of a counter push up at the top lane now.
Does look like it.
I mean, they're buying out space as well for Pale Horse, right? They're all playing up top. Pale Horse can just farm in the jungle, the Radiant jungle, under a ward, and there's no punishment. This is not great for Byzantine Raiders. Frugos now at level 7 is going to try to annoy him, but with Chemical Rage up, there's just no stopping the Alkin. This is trouble for Byzantine Raiders. They're 6-5, but
Lane.
2k lead for Arkosh.
They've got the Underlord in the wards, and that means that Gremlo is going to die, and that should mean the mid-tier 1 tower is finally going to go the way of Byzantine Raiders.
I think this game actually looks really easy for Byzantine Raiders. I know it's a 1k lead for Arkosh, but they're playing with an Alchemist, right? And this Alchemist is about 2k net worth above the Wraith King, which to me is not enough. I think Arkosh haven't done a good job of pressuring the Wraith King, and they've kind of spent all their time trying to respond to Byzantine's moves. And obviously Byzantine's moves haven't been the cleanest, they haven't been the most coordinated, but so far it's been looking like Byzantine is on the, front foot of this game. They're the ones who are playing, their own tempo, whereas Arkosh kind of feel like they're always responding. They're always, kind of panicking and trying to deal with what the other team is doing.
Yeah, and on top of that, Byzantine Raiders, right? We talk about the cooldowns on these spells, on the DP, on the Shadow Shaman. Alien Mana Banana, even though those early exorcisms weren't so successful, he's always been throwing his body out when he has it up. They're looking up top now. Exorcism is up. They did lose their bot tier 1, but they want that top tier 1 in exchange.
They gonna go in with the swashbuckle. They do rid him in place. Dream Coil there as well. Meanwhile, Frugos in the backlines trying to get down the Oracle. He's still gonna be fine for now. Goat, no. He forced too low and Alien Mana Banana take him out. And that seems to be the game plan every time, is just burst down the Oracle ASAP, and then the rest of the team fight is just kind of easy for them. As they found Canis as well. They still have the
That's a
Rolling
lot of
Thunder.
space.
Canis, he's going to be alright. He gets away, and like you said, he does make quite a bit of space, but you look at that top tier 1, it's gone.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Yep, so this is good stuff by Byzantine. It's 14 minutes, got all 3 of the tier 1s down. Definitely a great start versus Alchemist. So now we're looking at this Wraith King's Radiance to come out. It's about 100 gold off. So pretty solid timed Radiance, and it'll be interesting to see how they can use this Radiance. It'll also coincide with Wraith King's level 12, so it's going to be a massive power spike for Byzantine Raiders, and if they can use this power spike... Oh, in the mid lane, Gremlo.
Yeah, they are going. Rolling Thunder with an Arcane Rune will be nice for Cubane. He's going to get started. A great Hex out from Frugos onto Goat, but he doesn't get the shackles off. Goat is going to be just fine, but he can't get the False Promise
Pale
either.
Horse is here.
Frugos, he is definitely... He's going to try and fight this one out. A big Echo out. Crow trying to turn this one around. Is it going to be enough, though? Murderer still not dying. Light Shader does go down, and now Murderer, he might lose his first life. Looks like he won't. He'll survive. Pale Horse showing up to the fight does end up paying off for them.
Radiance came right at the end of that fight, so just a little too early from Byzantine Raiders in taking an engagement.
They were trying to camp out the rune, but there was a smoke out from Arkosh at the back. This is also our Alchemist's S and Y timing. So Pale Horse is looking to apply pressure with that build-up, while also just clearing out the camps. That early Radiance timing for Murderer, though, like that is going to be a bit of an issue early on for Maximus. Although Light Shader
Being caught out, maybe. Canis, Fisher does land, and Light Shader. He's going to be a nice, easy kill. When I say easy, he is actually pretty darn tanky, but does eventually go down.
Alchemist is working on that AC, so I like that. Probably the best item available, especially against the amount of physical damage on Byzantine Raiders from Death Prophet, Wraith King, and even Shadow Shaman wards, Pangolier, all physical damage. So good pickup from him.
Do like it.
Gonna keep him a lot tankier in the front and soften up some of those tanky targets. So a lot of value there. You're also seeing Pale Horse doing that thing we talked about. Go where the skeletons are, get 500 gold from 2 lives. Just a lot of value here for Pale Horse, and he's not quite being punished.
Yeah, Pale Horse might be in some trouble if he goes another wave, but he smartly TP's out, reads the gank. Good stuff from him.
Very nice indeed. Murderer. He's just going to start pushing in the top tier 2. Probably just won't go all the way, but they'll occupy the dire jungle.
It's looking like he wants to go take the tower. His team's pinging it, also making the rotation up. They have control of the map. DP has control of mid lane right now. Probably going to try to look to move up. They dropped the Shadow Shaman wards too. Looks like they are committing.
Glyph is going to be forced, but those skeletons are going to come back up, and they even glyph on the side of Byzantine Raiders now. And with those wards, it is not going to be too hard of a task. The bot lane is also being forced in by Arkosh, but they're not really going towards the tower. They're more focusing in on that mid-tier 1 tower. So it is going to be a tower trade, but I say that
Looks
a
like
TP is going to be
trying
there.
to defend. Murderer TP's
Murderer.
in.
Let's come in, and they do successfully defend this.
Yep, absolutely. Great trade for Byzantine Raiders. Take the tier 2 top for free. Able to still defend their mid tower. Arkosh is looking like they're trying to play off their wards in the mid lane. A lot of their vision is sitting here, and I think they see that smoke. Yeah, they're pinging it.
Smoke probably won't work out unless Canis Vulpus
Maybe
goes too
Canis
far.
Vulpus, does he know?
Uh-oh, he
Must
just
know about
orbed.
this, right?
Cutting him off, Murderer. He is towards the north, another
It's gonna be
orb, but
hard
they
to
know
get this
exactly
one
where
out.
he's going, and he's not in the tree line
Oh.
either. He's caught out, and he has no way
Yeah,
out.
Underlord ulting in.
Superstar.
Is this? I don't know if this
I
is a
don't
good
know.
fight. I think it should stop.
He
my
did not
God.
stop. Echo going to be committed. They're committing all the way. Cubane's going to die, and they get 1 life of the reincarnation. But now Alien Mana Banana pops the exorcism. Still, they are dropping the Wraith King very, very low. They do actually get the kill as a nice tip comes out from Canis Vulpus. The trash talk has begun. Into the next one, Light Shader. He goes down as well. Pale Horse with a double kill. And it didn't look like a great Dark Rift, but it ends up working out for them.
They all kind of grouped right on top of where the Dark Rift was coming from, and then Crow just immediately pressed Echo Slam, and they got a really big fight off that. That was... it's a hard situation because Byzantine was all trapped in the trees chasing this puck, and then all of a sudden, I don't even think they knew it was, happening. I thought if they had seen it earlier, they could have split up their heroes and maybe been able to get a nice DP silence. Maybe if Death Prophet was a little bit closer to get the silence off, could have been bad, but great stuff from Arkosh, heads up play for sure, that I thought wasn't going to work.
They're just playing around these item timings really well. Pale Horse, that was his AC freshly flying out. Crow didn't even need to use his blink. They find that mid-tier 1 now. And a 9k lead for Arkosh off the back of that fight. If you're Byzantine Raiders, right, you took that top tier 2 early, the map's kind of evened out now. Are you still happy in your position here?
Yeah, I think the game is still very close to even. Most of this net worth is just on the Alchemist, right? And it's just going to come down to, can Byzantine take down the Alchemist? Probably starts with the Oracle, but after that, taking down the Alch. I mean, I would favor Arkosh. At this point in the game, I think if they use their timings effectively to take an early Roche, the game could get pretty difficult for Byzantine, but definitely still winnable from both sides based on some good execution.
We'll see if that scuffle under Roche will come out anytime soon. It is up. Neither side really has vision around the pit, and neither side are making their way around there quite yet. Looking at Murderer now, he's saving up for a BKB. Should help with control, and the Roche is started here.
Looks like he wants to just walk in and start it. It's an interesting one because he's 1,000 gold off BKB. Probably prefer to wait for BKB here. It's an interesting choice to force the Roche without BKB.
They are going to back. It definitely was a very risky decision as Murderer. Around the pit, and now they do start to make their way over, Byzantine Raiders. Not really catching anyone out quite yet. It looks like everyone from Arkosh will be able to just leave. However, top lane, Pale Horse, he went back to farm. Frugos gonna get the Hex off, has the wards, has the shackles, and this is not great news for Arkosh as Pale Horse, he'll be looking pale after this one. It looks like he is just set to fall. He can't get the Chemical Rage. In fact, he doesn't even have it. Meanwhile, towards the south,
Oracle as well.
they got Goat.
They're gonna immediately go to Roche. That's a huge misplay from Pale Horse. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing there. He was all alone. His team was backing off to go to the Tri-Camp as well, so just kind of a out of position play, unfortunately. And now, all of a sudden, things are on the other foot. Even though they're up 8k, Roshan falls to Byzantine Raiders, and looks like they might have control of this game.
That they do.
That's a scary proposition for Arkosh. Like, they still have this good lead. They have bank on that Alch, as you mentioned, and 2 lives now for Alien Man Banana, 2 lives in the Raid King, of course. They've got the blink up on Murderer, so you can just jump in. The BKB still being waited out, and the BKB of Pale Horse kind of stalled out because of its death. Should still be up by the time he respawns after clearing out a wave or a couple of camps, but Byzantine Raiders now have the options, right? Like they still have wards that can come out in the next fight. They've got Exorcism about a minute 10 off. What's the game plan now? Just look for these tier 2s first, or maybe look for a pickoff first?
I think they are probably just going to be using this Aegis to farm. It's a little difficult for them to force towers into all the wave clear on the side of Arkosh, right? They have Acid Spray, they have Puck, they have Underlord spells, as well as obviously Earthshaker, which can turn any siege into a disaster if things go the right way. So probably looking to use this Aegis just to farm the map, try to take a gold advantage, which you can see here, right? Slowly building up a gold lead, or building up from the deficit. They have really good wards set up in the dire jungle, so maybe look to play to these wards, and they're pinging it already. And make sure that they take the outpost top, try to control both outposts, and use that to take map advantage.
Gotta ask. Lightshade is going for that shards again. Is this a good item? I mean, I don't know about this. It's a lot of reduction on the shield. I believe it's 70%. But is it a good item?
I mean, I'm not so sure. I feel like maybe he knows something I don't. I'm obviously not a 5 player. I'll have to hit up Husky for this one. I've heard it's not so good. Normally, you generally see it picked up later in the game after maybe a 4-staff or a Glimmer. Same thing, I think, this game. I don't mind the shield, but I think 4-staff or Glimmer would definitely be higher value. See in the mid lane.
Frugos. Gonna be alright. He gets the wards down.
Overstepped here. I'm not...
He did. He's got to be very wary of that.
Meanwhile, the top lane Murderer is going on Pale Horse.
Oh, he is. Gremlin going to go for the Dark Rift. Pale Horse. Oh, he is, and he will get out. A big tip there for Gremlin, I'm sure.
It's committed by Alien Mana Banana, though, so it looks like they're going to try to use that Exo to siege the tier 2. They had an Arcane Rune on the Exo as well, so good stuff from them. Oh, Alien Mana Banana with that Blink Dagger all the way in on the Oracle.
Yeah, Goat's having a very rough time this game, and he dies once again.
Pale Horse
though jumps in. He gets Frugos as well, but he needs to back off now as the Spirit Vessel is going to be there, and he won't pop the BKB yet. He's going to hold out. So he is going to be just fine. Looks like the side of Byzantine Raiders, they also back off. They're not willing to overextend without the Exorcism up. Overall, I guess it still ends up being a great trade for them, as they did find Canis Vulpus plus Goat at the end. Still ends up working out quite nicely.
Yep. Byzantine Raiders are probably not going to be able to find a way to use this Aegis, but they have a BKB coming up on Wraith King. Probably going to be looking towards that as their next big time to make a move with.
Yeah, and there is a smoke here from Arkosh, though. It looks like they want to play here.
They're going to jump in onto the Ogre, and Light Shader. Going to get down very quick. Do they keep going, though? Pale Horse, he's running up the high ground.
Obviously not happy with just the Ogre.
Naturally,
very aggressive blinking.
Let's pop the Chemical Rage. Pale Horse won't use the blink. Leave it. Looks like they are just going to have to settle for the Ogre. But on the brighter side, they do take map control by taking that kill and just forcing the lane. So I guess they're still relatively okay with it.
Yep, obviously not an awful move. They're looking to invade the Tri-Camp, but the Alchemist isn't there. Alchemist is showing bot wave. Goat can't be up this far.
Uh-oh, Goat. He's gone. No way of surviving that one. They get the outpost at the 24-minute mark, but that won't matter. There's still another 5 minutes to go. Yeah, Pale Horse.
A lot from Arkosh, where I think Goat has one idea and Pale Horse has a different idea, and it ends up with Goat randomly just being super out of position. Meanwhile, Pale Horse is on the other side of the map farming. Happens in a lot of their games. So, Pale Horse bottom too, very alone.
Cubase? He is definitely alone. Cubase's in trouble. He needs to make a run. Echo being committed by Crow, but it's not going to work out. And now Alien Man and Banana in with the Yules. They wanted the Earthshaker first. The Rolling Thunder is not really going to connect on anybody, but Crow might just die anyway. He does indeed go down as Cubase is still just rolling around on the low ground. I mean, it was a very strange engagement there. As look at this, a blink in right away from Alien Man of Banana. He's going still onto Goat, and Goat just has a massive target on his back. This DP does not like him, and he's forced the false promise. My goodness.
Pale Horse is not done.
I don't know about this one.
He's going on Cubase, but he gets Yules up immediately. I'm not so sure if this is the
Doesn't look great. He
That's
might just get
BKB, still
Light
going on
Shaper.
Shader.
Got one. Alien Mana
There is
Banana
no
still
Exo.
stuck around.
He's committing further. He might stun himself here.
Oh, there's the
Does.
BKB. Alien Mana.
That's in.
He wants to go for it, and they do get the Alchemist now. Shackles is out onto the Unlord, so there's no taxi back home yet. The Yules is there as well. Pale Horse still trying to run. His Chemical Rage is going to wear out relatively soon, but it looks like Crow is going to be able to save the day as they keep going for more. Frugos is maybe going to get caught here. Shackles is out.
They're fighting this.
They are. Dark Rift has been cancelled. Cubey, he does get a Rolling Thunder, and he's just stuck there for a second. That was the shot after all. The Wraith King does also die. Cubey gonna just try and back off as now Murderer pops his own BKB and wants to keep fighting. No. He'll TP away. Cubey will also TP away. And ultimately it was just supports that ended up dying.
Yep, both cores seem very hard to kill. Obviously, Wraith King, Alchemist, difficult to bring down, so the fights are getting very long and drawn out, and the subs are dying because of that.
Yeah, it's you're seeing that durability on the Alp. Like Pale Horse was really confident early by fighting it without the Chemical Rage and fighting without the BKB, but he is, you know, level 20 now. He is fairly tanky. What can Byzantine Raiders do to kind of prevent that? Do they just catch him while Rage is down? Not always going to happen, right?
Yeah, I think it's about trying to either start on the Alchemist and the Oracle at similar times, or looking to just kite out the Chemical Rage, right? Use the Exo and the move speed that comes along with that, use the mobility of the Pangolier, use the Wraith King to frontline in the fight, and just try to kite out the Alchemist's strength, because once Chemical Rage is down, the fights will get pretty easy for them, and Exo also lasts longer than Chemical Rage, I believe, so, you know, they'll still have a little bit of Exo time, even when the Chemical Rage is down.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Both
Could be
teams.
something to watch out for. Like so far, they've been able to hunt that Oracle fairly well. Anyway, as you mentioned, Goat sometimes has that different idea, and it's got to be a bit more cautious with that positioning. Both sides just kind of going for the jungle. Top jungle being re-invaded here by Byzantine Raiders. No Aegis to play with now. The Ags is slowly being formed up by A and B, and you can see Arkosh are taking that smoke play again.
Yep.
Towards Light Shader. Maybe not. They're just going to hang around mid.
The smoke is kind of obvious. They're getting pressured top lane, so they're gonna have to deal with that. You know, Byzantine Raiders smartly, they're pinging top lane. They know something's up, and smoke is probably not gonna be able to connect because of that.
Very unfortunate. Oh, Blink Dagger now
Quick
available
Rosh.
on the Shaman as well from Frugos, and like you mentioned, John, the quick Roshan is going to be there. They might not be expecting this Blink on the Shaman. They may get caught off guard, especially the puck being played by Canis Vulpus.
We'll see, there's
this
going to
next
be an
Roshan.
engagement. Looks like both teams are about to walk into each other. Pale Horse is prepping, going to try to go on the Pangolier, I imagine. Pangolier
the
blinks
high
out, he's
ground.
going to stop.
He is fine. Pale Horse, BKB'd up, is going to wear off relatively soon as QB now. Rolling Thunder, no, Crow jumps in. There's your Echo. It wasn't massive though. Everyone is still alive. Looks like Crow is going to die the Dark Rift. He's going to get the rest out. They do at least get a reincarnation life, but they may have just lost the Roshan as they Dark Rifted all the
They're
way to
not
the
checking
fountain.
it, they need to check the Roche. Late Shader's like, yo guys, get the hell in here.
Oh, and yeah, they go in. At least they've got some exorcism up, and it should be a relatively easy one. Aegis cheese now, so potentially 3 lives in Raid King, or at least a pseudo third life with a cheese. And
They're
Arkosh are trying to
Bringing
respond.
the Alchemist, they're gonna finish Roche. They might decide to go here. Alien Mana Banana pops his BKB. I'm not.
Now they're starting. He's not going to have it for the fight if they do engage. QB going to go for the Rolling Thunder straight onto Goat once again. They want the Oracle dead. He's been silenced up, and it looks like he is just guaranteed to die here, or maybe not. He's still alive, but everyone else is going down. Frugos, he does go down as well. And the Shaman back onto the Alchemist. Pale Horse in trouble, but a nice fisher out from Crow. The problem is, though, he doesn't have the Echo Slam, so he can't really follow up. Canis Vulpus, he's going to have to do the job. Nice unstable concoction, might at least get one, and they do kill off the Pango, but now Murderer is back in, but Alien Mana Banana is going to lose the Aegis. They reinitiate here. It looks like they
Alien
won't even
Mana
have a
Banana
chance.
Popping his BKB so early like that and then still choosing to fight was definitely very questionable. If he had BKB there and he walked in and had actually been able to frontline and get his spells off, I think that fight could have gone well, but his BKB was
Murder?
ending, and then he blinked in. The Murderer might get caught here.
Yeah, he's been fished up. He does not have a secondary life yet. He needs to try and buy himself time. 8 seconds is what he needs. BKB on cooldown as well. Murderer 5 seconds left to
2
reincarnate.
seconds on
He's not
ulti,
gonna
and he
have
goes down.
He's not going to get it. Now Light Shader, who tried to help out, he's not going to be dived too far in. Or maybe he will. The Fisher is there from Crow into the Pit of Malice, but they aren't going to dive. They'll go for the mid-tier 2 tower.
Oh man, the Ag Shard on our Shaker, the Ag Shard on Crow is just doing so much work. The added Aftershock on the Fisher is just so hard for Byzantine Raiders to break out of that pit. And the control's really starting to hurt them when their BKBs are down. They might not be able to fully clean up this objective, but they have done enough damage on the map that you are a bit uncomfy now on the side of Byzantine Raiders.
Absolutely. This Aghanims on the puck was given by Pale Horse. It was a really big deal. The roll in, Pale Horse is not going to be able to get his BKB off, maybe. Does get
Oh,
Oracle.
false promise.
They're trying to get him
Is
out of
there.
there.
Echo being committed. Crow, Dark Rift, everyone out. Apart from Code and Canis Vulpes. Goat, he'll tank the gank for the team. He's gone. Trying to find Canis as well, but he has TP'd out in time. No cancellation there. And Goat, he was still alive, but not for long. Still, I suppose that was a successful defense of the high ground in the end. Somewhat. It just
It's
didn't look very
obviously-
pretty.
Oh!
Pale Horse.
Pale
Horse.
Horse has BKB here. I'm not... Light Shader's just in.
Goes down. Pale Horse didn't need the BKB in the end. He's just fine.
Yeah. They didn't have enough heroes there. It was just the supports and the Pangolier. One support.
Yeah, just scuffle over that double damage rune in the end. I mean, Cubey got it in the end. But probably not worthwhile losing a hero over, but you deny it off the Alk, I guess. And speaking of that Alk, Abyssal up in Pale Horse. So he's pretty much set. Like he's got mobility, he's got stun. If you're Byzantine now, right, you're 10k behind, which is not massive considering the Alk is there and he's absorbing most of that. But you kind of stalled out in taking these tier 2s. You haven't made progress in tier 3. What do you aim for now if you're Byzantine Raiders?
Definitely looking for this AC on Murderer. Again, it's all about fight execution. Both of these games have been very close play-wise. I mean, look at the kill scores in both games. 21-20, I think it was 23-22 or something last game. Have been very even games. So when the games are this even, it really does come down to the fundamentals, such as playing fights in good vision, being able to find key targets, not starting on targets that are, probably not ideal, right? So for both teams, I'm just looking for playing around their vision, finding good targets, and from there, it's just about playing the fights. I think it's such a close game that it's hard to say if one side's even I think the execution is very similar from both sides. Smoke
They're
here
going
coming. They
in.
do find a Pangolier at the start as well.
They have, but he got the mini Rolling Thunder off in time. In fact, he's going to go for the big one, or maybe not. He's been stunned up. He needs to survive. But Cubey is going to die onto the Ogre now. It is looking rough as Crow commits the Echo Slam. The DP now with the BKB. And Cheese is going to be able to walk up to the high ground. And Arkosh, they're going to be happy with that. 3 heroes down, 1 buyback committed. They may be able to force a high ground attempt.
This is
It's
kind
great
of
for
scary now.
Arkosh whenever they can start on this Pangolier and prevent him from getting the Rolling Thunder off. He obviously has the shard, so he's able to save himself for a couple seconds, but getting this roll off is really important for Byzantine's Raider ability to fight.
Still going to try. Hidden Malice going to lock down the Wraith King, but he does have Reincarnate. Arkosh not backing off. They've got Chemical Rage back up now on Pale Horse. Silence is going to be there, but can they really hold? There's just so much heal coming in. Now the Pit of Malice again. That first life might just be gone, and it is. Pale Horse, he wants to go for the secondary with the Abyssal Blade straight off the bat. The Wraith King is in massive trouble, and he is dead. Murderer does go down. Crow moving in for more. Canis Vulpes not too afraid. They will just
No
buy
buyback
time.
on Murderer.
There is not. They're just buying time for Pale Horse to get those racks. They only get 1 range racks. Now Cubey is going to jump in. Gremlo being caught out on the Unlord. They need the taxi home. They may not get it though. Gremlo, in fact, he is still alive. Alien and Banana though going in for more, but the false promise is going to be there. Now the Dark Rift gets started, and they should be able to get out, or no, maybe not. He does cancel it off, and in the end, they're going to go back in onto the Shaman and Frugos. He's going to be targeted, and he will die. Chemical Rage is back up. They want more kills. They don't care for objectives. The
Great fissures from
aftershocks
Crow
coming
there.
in. Crow. Just way too good with these fishes. That'll be a secondary rack now for Arkosh.
Crow has had a really big game. Great fissures, great echoes all game. Has really made the team fights feel easy for Arkosh.
He has.
They can't quite clear out mega creeps just yet. Tier 2 still standing up top, but they've got a massive lead now. 24k up for Arkosh. Byzantine Raiders, just off the back of one bad fight, just falls apart now. Their tier 4s are going to be under threat.
Yeah, they're committing. The Chemical Rage is back up in 10, so they probably feel very confident, and they also have that Swift Link on Pale Horse to really speed him up a little bit. Murderer, oh, nice Fisher again, he's been blocked in, but Crow, they're not going to commit. They want the objectives, they want the tier 4 towers. Gainus Volpus gets the first one, it's now Pale Horse going back in after Murderer, just murdering the skeleton, but Murderer's going to try and turn back around, but Peter Malice is going to lock him in and he'll lose his first life. Yubei now with the Rolling Thunder, still moving through, but I think they're feeling confident as Frugos. He does die, and it's on to Murderer. Another great Pit of Malice, another great Fisher. They got the kill onto the Raid King, and this game is looking to be very, very over. So they're going for the Ancient. They're trying to buy more time, but how do you defend without your position 1? I believe you don't. They're going to try, though. The Hex is going to be there on the Alchemist. Pale Horse being shackled up. Gremlo, the Pit of Malice again. The Rolling Thunder out from Crow. The Echo again. Going to fly in onto Light Shader, onto Bay. They get the kill, and now the Ancient should be
the
going
Glyph is
down.
out, Alien Mana Banana is in, but
He's trying.
I don't think it's going to be enough.
And with that, the trash talk continues from Canis Volpus as they get more and they kill him off.
Oh, God.
And, I'm not sure what Crow means there, but Alien doesn't either.
Oh man, what a performance from Arkosh. It looked rocky at first. Byzantine Raiders were finding those objectives, they were hitting their timings, they were running down those lanes as you'd expect. Just felt like they couldn't get enough. Like they got that top tier 2 really early on, and then the execution, as you point out, Sammyboy, just kind of falls flat. Like Arkosh, they were just on top. Crow was just amazing this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this game was really close up until right after the second Roche when the DP popped her BKB, they decided to chase in the jungle, and then all of a sudden the game is kind of thrown into whack because they just took Aegis, they just took Cheese, all of a sudden they have to use, I think, both of them, or maybe at least one of them in the fight, I think the Aegis, and 3 people died, now they're on the back foot having to defend base, especially versus Alchemist. It's very difficult to do, and the Alchemist finally started amping his teammates as well. He gave a nice Ags to the Puck, and all of a sudden this Ags on Puck, coil on the Wraith King, coil on the Pango, and they're never going to be able to get their spells off, or at least on Pango, for sure, and turn the fights.
Well, luckily for us, that does force to a game number 3. Of course, we are going to head off to a very short break, and after the break, we are going to be back to really see what the panel thought about this game number 2.